Okay, it's what day is it today? Tuesday, June 27th. Just hopefully this should be a fairly quick video, just updating today's action. Although I have built a tool. At, I think I mentioned I was creating a Canadian and US model account starting with $100,000, and that will pretty much mirror what I'm doing in my tax-free savings account and my RSP, and the same thing for Janice for the Canadian side of things. So I built a little tool to help track that might be of interest to some of you that want to track your portfolios. Anyway, today's action, we got the bounce that we've been expecting. Bounced above yesterday's high and actually the previous day's high. So it took out both of those. So let's hope this is not just a one-day wonder, and that we will march steadily up to new highs. So we shall see. So that's the S&P. Just going down the list of the major indexes, the Dow, stronger than what I drew it out. This move's coming a little earlier than I had thought about, but I'll take it. Small caps had a pretty good day, a very wide range bar today. Took out previous 2 days highs, so that's very bullish. Up 1.5%. Same thing with the mid caps. Very strong day. So the gains were across the board. So this is encouraging. QQQ up, similar to the previous ones. And the interesting thing here is the QQQE was up almost an identical percentage for the day. It looks a little wider on the chart, but in percentage terms, they were both up. One was 1.7, one was 1.6. So it means the breadth is increasing, and that's a good thing. So the S&P we talked about. And then the Canadian exchange had another good day, up not as good as the American counterparts, was up 0.8%. So all in all, a good day. We just hopefully this will show some continuation. Just quickly on my open positions, and I did add a couple of things today. NOA again did not have a good day, closing down near the low. So this is looking like it will stop out tomorrow, unless it finds some legs right here at the 50 moving average and heads back up again. So this shouldn't have done this after this breakout, but it did. So that's trading. FTNT, which I was a little nervous about yesterday on the down day, had a great recovery today, and in fact closed at a new all-time high, or within a penny or two of the all-time high. So that's pretty encouraging. I did add EU Pro today, as we talked about in yesterday's video. I talked about adding it here above, it went above 44.86. I actually cheated. I saw the strength early in the morning, and this is one of the advantages of being at your screen early in the day. I saw the strength, and so I took a small position, a 1/3 size position, but this is a triple leveraged instrument, so it's equivalent to buying a full position in the S&P 500. I've got it at 44.29, and we're up about $1 on that. So that's just hope this continues to go. My short terminals we've talked about. Finally got the move above. Again, this is only a small position, as you'll see in my exposure sheet. But I'm hoping to add to this and get to a full position. But it's got to prove itself. I mean, this decline here is pretty steep. So it's not going to go ripping right back up to new highs in the straight line, I don't think. If it does, well, fine. I still got a small position. But I'm hoping it will form another base over here somewhat in the next week or two, and then we can add to this and then add again as it gets up to these highs. The double leveraged T Toronto is working really well. I got in down here yesterday, and that's working out really well. And then in my trading account, I added a new position in HubSpot, but it did nothing so far. I just like the way this is tightening up. It has good overall relative strength. While the market was going down here, this went basically sideways. So it just is acting a little bit strong. It just hasn't got the horsepower yet to get through, to have another big move up. But we'll see. It may be a little premature, and but it's only a half-size position to start off with. So that's the market. So this tool, I'll bring it up in here and then maybe expand this a bit. Simply an Excel spreadsheet. So I have the two model portfolios, one Canadian. The opening capital balance is $100,000, and the US is actually the same thing. So then I add in here my positions. So I have the symbol, the buy date, what day it was entered into, what was the buy price, today's price. Oh, it's too much to update this daily. There's absolutely no need for it. So the only thing I would do is update it as positions come in or go out of these portfolios, which hopefully these are intended to be a little more longer term. So that's not all that frequent, maybe once a week or something, but we'll see. But certainly just updating it once a week is entirely adequate. In fact, if I share this with you all, I'll probably only do it on a weekly basis, maybe even a bi-weekly basis. Although during the week, either by email or by video, I will explain any additions or deletions to the portfolios. So a number of shares I have. I say number of shares remaining because somewhere along the line we may sell half, may sell a third, that sort of thing. So this is not just static. Where is my stop price? And then this calculates then how much is the risk per share. So in the case of XAU, I bought it at 17.58. My stop was at 17.38, so I've got 20 cents of risk. Then it calculates the stop in percentage terms. So, I mean, anything under 3% is pretty tight. Getting them down to under 2% is really good, although the risk of them stopping out is a little bit higher. So the risk exposure, if I got stopped out, this is what I'd lose on these trades. The position cost in dollar terms, today's position value. So then I can calculate the P&L. And the dollars are less important than the percentages because everybody's dealing with different amounts. You know, a $10,000 portfolio, you know, the P&L dollar amounts are not as significant. Really what you want to focus on is in percentage terms. And if you think that way too, as your account goes from, let's say you start with $100,000 and you're fortunate enough to double it or triple it, or you add more money to the account, now you're dealing with a much more sizable account. The dollars can be a little more scary, but if you think in percentage terms, it always keeps it in perspective. The position size is a percentage of the account. And as I talked about on the weekend, in an ideal, the ideal mix is 4 positions, each about 25% of the portfolio. So HXU is what I would call a full position. It's 24%. WTE was only 9%. So I'm not willing to put a full position in on that particular setup because it's just early on. But the goal is to, if it performs, we'll add to it and get it up to a 25% position. And then I have 2 slots left empty. And so my total cash is still $66,000 in this account. Where was I? So opening capital balance is here. Here's the current capital balance. It's just like, I just like to keep score and see where we're at. The total risk in dollars. So if everything stopped out, this is what my exposure is. So it's $430. And as a total, as a percentage of the entire account, that's decimal 4%. So, you know, extremely small. So if everything went to for shit. On the US side, it's slightly higher. The risk is $1,800, which is still only 1.8%. So I like, as a rule of thumb, the total risk never to exceed 3%. Even though I may risk 5% on an individual trade, I don't want the total risk to my account balance to be more than 3%. So if really bad things happen overnight, I can handle a 3% loss. But okay, so hopefully that makes some sense. The only other thing I would comment on here, HXU, for example, I was in at 1758. Today it closed at 1802, I think it was. Yeah. So I'm up, and I was only risking 20 cents. So I'm up over 2 to 1. So what I'm doing, what I did today actually, is raise my stop to break even. So I changed this to 17.58. And then now my risk exposure on this trade is 0. And it reduces my total risk on the Canadian side to 0.2%. So what this intuitively suggests that I'm very comfortable in adding in some new positions, because the risk of my existing positions is so tiny, so I can readily take on a little bit more risk. WTE, I'm in at 30.80. It closed at 30.99, so it's too early to do anything with the stop. NOA, 1965 was my entry, closed at 1910. So my stop is at 1874, so no changes there. FTNT, same thing, no change to the stop. UPRO, which I added today at 44.29, my original stop was 43.79, which was 50 cents, but now that's gone up so much, I'm going to raise I have already raised my stop to break even. So I changed this to 44.29. Now I have 0 risk on that trade, and it reduces my overall risk slightly down to 1.7%. So hopefully this is, like, you get the idea of this. It's really simple to maintain, especially in a longer term account where you're not buying and selling 3 stocks every single day and that sort of thing. It's designed for relatively low activity. So if anybody's interested in this, I can share you the Excel formulas and the spreadsheet, or you can build your own. I'm not a real Excel expert. Okay, that's it for today. Say another good day in the market. Let's just hope it continues. This was a big move to digest, although the volume wasn't particularly heavy. The volume was only just normal. So I would have rather seen a big volume day. Hopefully that'll come tomorrow. Let's hope tomorrow then we have another big up day, accompanied by lots of volume, which would strongly suggest the institutions are really stepping up their appetite for risk. But right now the jury's out. This nice move, we'll enjoy it, but could easily flip over, which is why we have stops. Okay, that's it. Have a good week, everybody.